Hello and welcome to this video, in which I'd like to tell you about my first Eurovision Watch Party and how it went. You might be thinking, how is such a big fan only having their first watch party now? Well, every year that I've been actively watching Eurovision, I have been in the city that it was taking place on the day of the grand final, and this is the first year that I've not actually seen the grand final show from inside the arena. I did it kind of on purpose because I knew it'd be expensive and I don't have any personal ties to Sweden. Still visited Malmö the week before though because I couldn't stop myself, and I did have some security concerns, so I figured better sit a year out now while I don't need to go than maybe really want to go 1 year, not get tickets and just get disappointed. So that was the why. And now I'll tell you about the how of my watch party. As you can see above me, this bunting was part of it. I made it the day before. The Malmö 2024 designs are provided by Inter ESC, and then the United by Music and Sign of Beauty ones I made myself, just quickly to have them for myself, because this bunting I'm planning to keep reusing over and over again. It's got 2 flags per the number of the year that I'm watching Eurovision for. Basically there's 2 flags for 2022, 4 flags for 2023 and 6 flags for 2024. I do also have a second bunting made up entirely of 2024. My watch party was in England because that's where my family and friends are. I live in Hamburg. I do also have some friends here, but I wanted to watch it with my English friends one time at least. I decorated the room. I put up lots of material everywhere to kind of make it a bit more party-like and less like a living room. Someone in my family likes to sew, so there was spare material lying about. I made one table for non-food and one table for food. There were lots of snacks. Someone also arrived from organising a hen do as well, and there was lots of food left over from that as well, so we had just way too much food. But this is what the tables looked like. The little hearts are the punch-outs from the bunting that was left over. I figured they're pretty sweet, so I put them on the table as well. Everyone got a friendship bracelet with just like colourful glow-in-the-dark beads and 68th ESC, because I wanted to test out these number beads that I got when I was in the Netherlands. They're not the prettiest bracelets ever, but I think people like them. We also had our scoring cards. These are our scoring cards from Eurovision Insider and ESC News. I am now working with Eurovision Insider on a voluntary basis, but turns out last year my scorecards were also from Eurovision Insider and I didn't even know. I guess I just like the design the most. We also used pens that I bought in Malmö on a shopping trip to Tiger, in which I definitely overspent because they were about to close and I had just met 3 sets of Eurovision stars that day and I just didn't know what to do with myself. And we also had these straws with disco balls on them that I also bought in Malmö because I couldn't stop myself. I'm sure there's other stuff that I'm forgetting about. I also put down this holographic souvenir card thing on the table, the CD, and my little knitted robin replica for Rim Tim Tagidim, and a little ammonite that I actually bought on the day in a swannery on the table as well for the code, because I'd seen Nemo wandering about with an ammonite as well and I wanted one, so I bought it on the day of the Eurovision final. There were a bunch of UK flags and like UK napkins just because I'd found them in the house from other events. I don't know when, but they were there. And lastly, on the non-food table there was also these badges that I'd made with just paper. They don't have any plastic on them, so that we could draw our favourite flags on them in coloured pencil at the end of the show, but before the results were announced. And I did draw Switzerland. Someone else drew Switzerland, someone drew Ireland, someone drew Finland, someone drew Croatia, and someone drew Slovenia. On the food side of the table there were quavers, which are my favourite British crisps, some Ollie's pretzels that I also bought almost immediately after meeting Ollie Alexander in Malmö, and then I found out they were in the English level as well, so complete waste of time to be honest. Some chocolate from Malmö in a tin as well that I'm hoping to use to store my Eurovision hearts afterwards once the chocolate is eaten, but it's not eaten yet. The leftover food from the hen do organising, some brownies, cookies and muffins, donuts and quiches. So there's lots of food. And then also, about an hour before the show was about to start, we'd ordered Domino's, 3 pizzas and some starters, and we still had like a whole pizza left over, so way too much food. Someone else had also bought, this person was invited last minute, a friend of my family that I didn't previously know, but someone else had also bought a spread of fruit and macaroons in the Eurovision colours. It was hard to say what the Eurovision logo is this year, but to me, the main colours were these, pink and yellow going into orange. That was the one I'd seen the most. It's on the CD. That's the one I associate the most with the Eurovision logo, and that's the fruit spread that we got. I'd also put up balloons that I got this year and last year from the Eurovision website, which is why some of them are heart-shaped and some of them aren't. And I'd also put up all of my little Eurovision hearts on the whiteboard as a decoration as well. And the bunting was hung up as well. How did the evening actually go? I told everyone to arrive at 5 p.m. Nobody was there at 5 p.m, but that was fine because I planned plenty of time and I wasn't done decorating anyway. We just chatted while we waited for the show to start. I also made sure to put on Musti's performance, Luna's performance and Joel's Clown's performance because I thought they were the ones that were the most missing, in my opinion, in the grand final. Obviously I would have loved to see everyone. I also didn't want to bore everyone because they were mostly being kind by putting up with Eurovision. They like it, but most of the people there like it for the ridiculous songs like Finland. So just putting those three on was already a little bit extra. I also did want people to arrive early so that we could watch the Polish program happening before the grand final, which was sort of Luna's preparations for Malmö, more or less. Except I also got interviewed in that, and short of the YouTube bots not letting me, I'm gonna put that clip in now.
Witam ze Szwecji, jesteśmy w eurowizyjnej wiosce w Malmę, gdzie odbywa się 68. konkurs piosenki Eurowizji. Wszystko pod hasłem United by Music. Już dziś wieczorem wielki finał, który oczywiście poprzedzony był wieloma przygotowaniami. Jak to wszystko wyglądało od samego początku? Zobaczmy i posłuchajmy.
Sobie inaczej.
Widzę, że tutaj czekasz na wywiady z poszczególnymi artystami.
Dokładnie. Jestem z Eurovision Insider.
Z Luną już udało się porozmawiać?
Chwileczkę tak.
Nawet coś dostałaś od Luny?
Tak, dostałam puzelki od Luny z The Tower.
Powiesz, że ona uwielbia układać puzzle.
Tak, uwielbiam. Widziałam już wszystkie inne wywiady, gdzie ciągle kupuję puzelki. Jest bardzo fajnie.
Yeah, I got interviewed by the Poland's main TV station. In England that would be the BBC, in Germany that would be ARD. Just whatever the #1 TV station is in your country, that one. Because I was interviewing the Eurovision stars on the Malmö Hagen red carpet, and I'd spoken to Luna in Polish, so they're like, Polish people, we need to chat with them. People from Eurovizja.org and Misja Eurowizja were also interviewed. I wasn't the only one at that event. But it's still cool to be on Polish TV. So that's why they needed to be early. And that's why I said significantly early, because I knew I'd be at some point within a half an hour program, probably for no more than 30 seconds. I just didn't know exactly what time. And there was a ridiculously long part with Ollie Alexander in that show. I guess they just got an interview of him and wanted to use it, but there's no reason for that interview to have been so long. But it's cool. Anyway, so we watched that program, then we were getting ready for the grand final and watched it. Obviously lots of explaining questions. Why is Australia in Eurovision? You know, what are all these weird jokes happening? It was all very nice. We all had our scorecards filled out, and I would like to share our results with you now as well. There are so many different ways that I could have gone about combining our points, our scores, and I don't think there's any way that's truly correct, because in total we were giving every performance scores out of 36. That's already the first thing that's broken. And on top of that, one person only showed up for Ireland, didn't see the other performances. On top of that, some people are meaner than others. There was someone who was consistently in the 30s and someone who only got one performance to the 30s. Like, there was no good way of doing this. In the fairest way that I could figure out to do this, here are our results. Keep in mind, these results are nowhere near apolitical, and I don't know if this is truly our top 35, because it was very, very hard to get a true average, considering we were doing points out of 36 and people were different levels of mean or kind. But in our 25th spot, no dispute about it, is Israel. Almost nobody gave her points, with 56 points in total when I averaged out the scores to get the best possible accurate scores that I could, but the scores don't mean much, to be honest. In the 24th spot, Luxembourg with 114. In the 22nd spot, Greece with 177, because it is tied with Estonia, also at 177 points. In the 21st spot, Latvia with 180. In the 20th spot, Sweden with 188. In the 19th spot, Germany with 190. In the 18th spot, Cyprus, 195. 17th spot, Serbia, 197. 16th spot, UK, 203. 15th spot, Portugal, 206. 14th spot, France, 214. There are some people who really just hate French in my group, so I don't know if that's truly accurate. 12th spot, Austria with 220. Same for Italy at 220. In the 11th spot, Lithuania, just missing out on the top 10 even in my group at 224. In the 10th spot, Slovenia at 239. 9th spot, Ukraine at 241. 8th spot, Georgia, 243. 7th spot, Norway, 253. 6th spot, Armenia, 262. We really enjoyed it. 5th spot, Spain, 272. This was a big hit at my watch party. 4th spot, Finland as well, a big hit. Someone's winner, 275. Also someone's winner, Ireland, 276 in total. In the 2nd spot was Switzerland at 280 points, and because most people really liked it, our winner was Croatia with 297 points. And you know, the top 3 and well, the top 2 and the last 2 are definitely in those positions. Everyone else might be jumbled up a little bit because of the different ways that you could coagulate our points. So take that with a grain of salt, but those were the results at my first Eurovision Watch Party. I really enjoyed it. I think definitely there were moments where everyone zoned out, especially for Austria's performance, for Serbia's especially. When Loreen was performing, I think everyone was mostly just making fun of her, and I know she's an artist, but I was busy trying to get an approximate top 10 of ours based on everyone's 10 favourite songs, and the results of that are as follows, just based on everyone's absolute favourites. During the show, I managed to gather that our winner was Croatia, 2nd spot Switzerland, 3rd spot Armenia, 4th spot Spain, 5th spot Finland, 6th spot Norway, 7th spot Ireland, 8th spot Lithuania, 9th spot Ukraine, 10th spot Slovenia. So it's not so far off, but there's just so many different ways to do the ranking that's the one I got during the watch party, and then the one I just read out in full is the one that I got afterwards. So yeah, all in all, I'd call that a success, to be honest. I mean, it finished very late, and I had to get up very early the next day for a horrendous journey back, to be honest, on paper, back to Hamburg, but it went smoother than I could have expected it to. I would do it again if I'm not able to go to Eurovision at 1 year, but for the foreseeable future, I'd like to be in the arena whenever the grand final is happening. Whether I manage to make that happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. But if I ever can't, I'd absolutely be throwing another watch party, and maybe even more intense. So yeah, I enjoyed it. The only person missing for me was Robin. She's not really allowed to travel to England so easily, so she had to sit it out. But maybe next time, if I do ever have a watch party again, it'll be with Robin, because I think you deserve to watch Eurovision as well. Especially considering she was actually in the 2nd semi-final during the sing-along. I managed to get her in, so technically Robin's in Eurovision. As am I, but I've been in a couple more times than she is. That was her Eurovision debut. That's it from me about my first Eurovision watch party. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one, or that shows up on your feed. Bye! Robin, can't get comfortable, can you?